evening. This is vk3sl and welcome to the evening missions. It's good to be back again on a Friday night, and I'm very happy to say that we have two really special guests face to face in the booth. We have Frank and Jamie here in person.
Hello, Steve. Hello, Frank. It's wonderful to be here in person.
Good day. Yes, it's so good.
It's been a dream of mine for many months.
Yes, likewise. And
to be here.
It's finally happened, so it's a real sign that the lockdown is falling away.
Yes.
It is.
Testament.
Absolutely.
Here we are, testament to that.
And good evening, special good evening to the listener.
Indeed, absolutely.
Listeners, Frank.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Well,
yes, there's two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just one. Right.
So this is it is a historic occasion. We've made room in the booth. We've moved a bit of furniture around and found our place.
We squeezed our way in.
We're all set up, ready to go for a big evening of OTR, OTR magic, and what have we got?
Well, I thought we'd have a mixture of OTR and a bit of Vitatoni.
Oh, Vitatonics, yes. Well, that's it.
I'm sneaking in one jazz record.
Oh, yes. Well, I think we'll start with your offering there, Frank. Yeah, well, you give us the lowdown on what this is, or the down, or lowdown.
It's a recording of a great jazz pianist who had a very long life in the jazz world called Earl Hines. And Earl Hines started in the 20s recording with bands like the Louis Armstrong.
Yeah, he made recordings with the Louis Armstrong Hot 5 in the 70s.
He certainly did. And he was still going very strong in the 70s, right well into the 70s. And he didn't stay playing the old New Orleans jazz. He progressed. Not only did he progress with the times, but he actually was leading development in jazz piano. He was on the forefront of it. And a truly great figure in jazz piano. And he visited Australia in 1972. And while he was here, when he first arrived, they played him Waltzing Matilda. It was sort of inevitable. We trot out Waltzing Matilda, to the musicians, and he'd never heard it before. And he happened to be in a place where there was a piano, and he listened to Waltzing Matilda being played, and he said, "I'd like to have a try at that." And he played it just off the cuff and improvised on it, and it was recorded. It was actually in a recording studio when this all happened, and he made this recording, about 7-minute long take on what he thought of Waltzing Matilda after one hearing. And that's what I'd like to play.
Sounds excellent, Frank. Let's have a listen. I think it's queuing up, ready to go. Waltzing Matilda.
Well, I think he imparted a fresh touch to
Yeah.
a very old, well-worn tune.
Yeah, he did.
It's amazing.
Very fluid.
Very fluid.
Meanderings.
Yeah.
Whimsical meanderings.
All of that. It's a great lightness about it,
Yeah.
and not taking it too seriously,
Lights
yet not
of fancy.
trivialising it.
No, that's it. He didn't. He kept the flavour of the piece.
He did.
And
he did.
yeah, that was good.
I wonder what
Really
age he was in 1972.
Or fairly advanced, I'd say.
good. Yeah, he would
Yeah.
have been getting on. We could look him up. So Earl Father Hines. We're sort of wondering where the father might have come from. Did he father many children? I wonder.
Yes.
I don't know.
Who
I don't
knows?
know.
We'll investigate. But thanks, Frank. That was great. That was a really it's a terrific track, and that's from the Swaggy Compendium, isn't it? That's
It
from,
is. It is indeed. Thank you to the widow of Neville Sherburne, who used to.
Yes,
to
founder of
own,
Swaggy.
Swaggy, that's right. She very kindly gave me that recording.
Okay.
Maureen, if you happen to be listening, I don't
Yeah.
think you are. But,
Yeah, sure.
And now I understand that Wayne's
Yes,
listening
just
to
got
us.
an email from Mr. Wayne, so he's out there listening.
Hello,
and-
Mr. Wayne.
Yay!
That's
So
Jamie's calling you.
he sends his best, and so thanks, Wayne. Yeah, it's good
Yeah,
to hear from you.
Good to hear you listening there, Wayne.
Yeah, and just letting people know we are actually having a face-to-face live session
I
today.
hope we keep you awake for a bit longer.
Yeah, I hope so.
Well, you're going to keep us awake for the next few minutes, Jamie.
Yes,
Well,
indeed.
I think you've got something a bit special,
Yes.
keeping us though in the jazz idiom.
Well, yes, very appropriately, talking about Earl Father Hines. Sadly, I learnt last Friday a week ago today, the passing of Gillian Lee, who was a very fine musician. He's a totally blind person, came from New Zealand, came out here in the late 50s. And I'm going to play an excerpt of the Ford Show from 1959 with Gillian Lee as the guest star. He was a very versatile performer, and he was born in 1923. He spent quite a number of years in America working for Capitol. He wrote a lot of commercials and themes, and one that comes to mind is the Dr. Paul intro that was heard on radio for many years. So he was good friends with people like Don Burrows and James Morrison, very renowned musician, Julian, and a lovely person. I probably knew him for about the last 10, 15 years or something like that. And he had a great sense of humour and just a lovely person. Spent the last number of years in a wheelchair because he had a number of strokes. And he was, 97? So a lovely man.
Wow, 1923. Amazing.
Yeah.
Well,
And he was a great fan of talking books and things like that. And we had many conversations over the years about his books and helping him with his his players and things like that.
Okay.
And he's always keen to access other content. And he had such a great, he had such a great attitude for some, given his limitations in later years, and so my thoughts with his wife Val, and anyway, I just thought it'd be
Sure.
nice to pay tribute to Julian. He also did a lot for music in this country. He was a great supporter of musicians in this country. That, for example, the blind music camps that were run every year in Wollongong since the mid 1980s. He had a lot to do with that. He attended many of those camps for children from, I think it was like 6 to 16 or 17. They'd run these camps every year up in Wollongong, with run by Ian Cooper. Frank, of course, who you know.
You remember him well.
Just a wonderful person, and I think we should enjoy this little bit of radio nostalgia going back to the Ford Show in 1959.
okay, fine. Thanks for that. I didn't know much about Julian, but it's great. I'll look forward to having a listen here. All right, let's queue up and hear it.
Guest star time at the Ford Show, and this week we present a young multi-instrumentalist from New Zealand. Pianist, saxophonist, trumpeter, vocalist, composer, and arranger is the remarkable list of abilities of our guests. And, ladies and gentlemen, this man is blind. So let's give a big welcome to Julian Lee. Julian Lee, welcome to the Ford Show.
Thank you very much, Hayes. Thank you very much.
Well, I'd like to be able to talk about your remarkable artistry, and I'd like to do that in just a moment. But first, a word about other things. Do you mind telling us a little bit about your blindness?
Not at all. If there's anything you want to know, Hayes, I'd be only too delighted.
Well, tell us, how long have you been blind?
Well, as long as I can remember, which is a fairly long time now. It's getting longer every day, I'm afraid.
We realize, of course, that blindness doesn't always mean total blindness. You do have a percentage of vision, haven't you?
No, I haven't any vision at all, actually, Hayes.
None whatever?
None whatever.
Then how do you manage to do those remarkable arrangements?
Well, I have a very capable wife, as a matter of fact, and
a very lovely one, too.
We won't go into that. That's my prerogative, I think.
And you're both very lucky people.
Well, she actually writes all my manuscripts for me. She hasn't been doing it long, so if there are any mistakes in the score, fellas, well, just be reasonable.
Well, let's hear that score, shall we?
Every time it rains, pennies from heaven. Don't you know each cloud contains pennies from heaven? You'll find your fortune falling all over town. Be sure that your umbrella is upside down. Why don't you trade 'em for a package of sunshine and flowers? If you want the things you love, you must have showers. So when you hear it thunder, don't run under a tree. There'll be pennies from heaven for you and me.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, all the solo instruments you heard were played by our one man. And the Ford Show says thank you to our blind guest star, New Zealand's Julian Lee.
Well, how's that for an extraordinary multi-instrumentalist?
Oh, it's amazing and quite moving for me to hear that. Gillian, you know, his personality shone through in his playing, didn't it?
Yeah.
So you're saying you knew him in later life, Jamie?
I did, yes, yeah. And he was just had such a wonderful sense of humour, such a great attitude, such and just always had great jokes and
you really do get a sense of the personality of the playing, especially the trumpet playing.
Oh, yeah, that was out of the box.
We had a real swagger, didn't it? To the
very highly revered amongst the in the radio in the sort of
in the
entertainment industry.
Sure.
Yeah.
And piano playing, very virtuosic.
Certainly was.
Had that wonderful sweep.
Probably not as well recognised in some ways. I think in some ways amongst his sort of
His
blind peers, unfortunately. I think. But certainly, certainly well respected with people that I know. But certainly an inspiration to many.
Great. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I'd be keen to hear some more of his work. And I wonder if there are many recordings of him fronting big bands.
Yes, there are. A friend of mine is putting together a 4-part documentary to sort of celebrate his life. A friend of mine in Western Australia, and I'll certainly will be utilising that those recordings when it comes.
That'd
to
be good.
me.
Oh, look, it'd be excellent. I'd love to hear them.
Yeah.
No, that's a real.
I have got I actually sort of hesitated. I thought, what do I play? I've got a very nice interview with Julian Lee with Bert and Paddy Newton going back to 3UZ, and Julian's performing at the auditorium at 45 Burke Street, playing the piano and chatting away to Bert.
Sure.
And I was tempted to play that, and I sort of thought, no, let's focus on.
I think the multi-instrumental thing really, it says a lot.
It does, yeah.
Picks up on the breadth of his talent. Doesn't
Yeah,
it?
that's right.
And you got to hear his sense of humour shone through as well.
Absolutely.
I like his little quip there.
Yes, yeah.
His wife.
His lovely wife.
And his lovely wife. So he would have only been, 20, 30 35 or something. Then,
Okay.
34, yeah.
He was married a few times.
Yeah, he's had 3 or 4 wives.
Okay.
3 wives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Uh,
Okay.
And lived in New South Wales up in Barrel for quite a number of years.
Yay. Good. Oh, that was most excellent.
Certainly was.
All right, so we've been sort of mining your archive here, Jamie. You've got the big box. You've got
Yes.
the big box, and we're sifting through it, and
Yeah.
out come an old ABC disc.
Yes, talking about jazz and very talented performers. Here's a Jeff Brook recording with Teddy Preston. Steve, you might be able to tell us what it's called.
Yeah, it says on the label, it's a typed label, on an ABC typed label. It says Memory Hill is the name of the track. So yeah, Jeff Brook and the Ted Preston Trio. This is vk3sl testing on 160 and 2 metres.
That sweet September on Memory Hill, I still remember. I always will. Then came November, the crisp autumn chill, so died the ember of Memory Hill. Oh, how my heart has yearned since we said adieu. But now my heart has learned sweetest dreams never come true. That sweet September still gives me a thrill as I remember our Memory Hill. Oh, how my heart has yearned since we said adieu. But now my heart has learned sweetest dreams never come true. That sweet September still gives me a thrill as I remember our Memory Hill.
Very laid back.
Yeah, isn't that lovely?
It was great. Yeah, Jeff Brook and the
Teddy Preston
and the
Trio.
Ted Preston. So that's ABC Fair.
That's an ABC recording.
Wow.
Mm.
Back in the 50s. We're trying to date it. It says here on the label 1954 was the last.
Yeah.
This is from the ABC, record library. And, it says 54 was the first time it was used, so I presume...
Yeah, date from that. Sounds like about a 1953, 54 recording, doesn't it?
Yeah, 78 on vinyl, which is nice.
Yeah, we were talking about Jeff, and of course he was, a prominent jazz singer, but also a broadcaster on 3KZ with the Supper Club. I remember him when I was young doing fishing reports
he was a
on
big fisherman.
3LO and things
Yes,
like that,
yes,
or
he was.
3DB and different stations.
He was very much into fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And you had a personal connection.
I did, yes. My stepmother and he went out for a number of months.
Okay. Right.
It was quite a while. I forget how long it was, but
Yeah, sure.
she and my father separated, and then I didn't divorce for many years, and she used to go to the shows and things, and
Jeff Brook was on the scene.
Jeff Brook was on the scene.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, that's good. No, he's evidently quite young on that recording. The trio is very cruisy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah, good one. Excellent.
Would we like some more Jeff Brook?
Oh, yeah, we could.
Why not?
I'll hand you another recording.
Another one. Pass the record
This is
over the thing. Yep.
This is much earlier.
Okay, let's have a look at this one. I
It's
can
a
read that.
Legionnaire record.
It is BBB, it says. Slumber Song, number
BB.
1. And BBB,
Summer.
Slumber Song number 2.
They were mattresses. BBB
Yeah,
were mattresses.
that's right.
Were they?
Yes, they
Okay.
made mattresses.
So this is a 78 acetate.
It's a vinyl pressing.
Oh, yes. Is it? Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
and I think it's an
Yes, it is.
inside start.
Oh.
Oh,
No, it says outside start.
Oh, outside start.
Yeah, it is. It's a Legionnaire. Legionnaire are interesting records. Give us the rundown on Legionnaires.
Legionnaire were a follow-on from Feature Radio.
Okay.
And they're only around for a short time, and then they evolved to Broadcast Exchange. So does it have the address on the label of the Legionnaire?
Yeah, I think it does. It says Legionnaire Sound Productions, PTY 68 to 70 King Street in Melbourne.
Yeah.
So there we go.
They're only around from about, 1940 to 41 or something. Like It's only a short period.
Yeah.
But I always like their recordings. They're hard to find. And
they're pretty specialist. Okay, well let's run with this now.
BBB some Slumber Song.
Slumber
Yes.
So
Song.
this would be an ad.
it'll be an ad for sure.
Okay, great.
At the dawn of the day, we awaken to say, this is no time to dream. For there's much to be done, and there's work for each one. For life is a restless dream. But when the shadows of evening are falling, the Sandman so softly is calling. Though you're worried and blue, there is waiting for you a BBB bed where care is shed. So let's call it a day. The cloak of care we all must wear, let's cast away and drift down peaceful streams aboard the ship of dreams. The day has been crowded with no time for ease, but now the haven of comfort is here with 3Bs. So close your eyes and start in dreaming. While So close your eyes and start in dreaming while we are singing our slumber song.
Jeff Brooke, didn't you sound young there compared to the, younger compared to the previous recording with Teddy Preston?
Yeah.
But the BBB Slumber Song.
It is very soporific and very soupy strings and very well recorded, I thought.
Yes, and a beautiful orchestra. I wish I knew who it was, and I wish I'd had the foresight to ask Jeff who was the orchestra.
That's an
But I
interesting
don't think
point.
I had the record at the time that I knew him.
Yeah, fair enough.
Otherwise, I would have asked him.
Yeah, it would have been good to get. You just wonder. I suppose a lot of these groups, they just would have been scratch orchestras or assembled musicians. Lots of work for musicians back in the 40s, 1941, wasn't it? That recording.
Yes, about
Yeah.
that.
Yes,
Yeah.
one of our listeners was born in 1941. Someone very well known to me,
Right.
and
Then that record's coming up to 80 years old. That's
yes, it certainly is. All right, well that's great. Well, we've got something else interesting. Another ad. Of a
yes, we're in
different
the
kind.
ad mode at the moment.
We are listening to advertisements, and this one's for an HMV Grammophonics.
1937.
Wow.
For more than 40 years, his master's voice has brought music into your home, ever since records were first made. Now, his master's voice announced a new low-priced table radiogram in which is incorporated two instruments in one, a superb radio and gramophone combined. The choice of the world's greatest recorded music, in addition to high-quality broadcast reception from your favorite stations. The music you want, when you want it. This new His Master's Voice table radiogram is the best and most complete home entertainer ever produced at the price. Behind it is a background of 40 years, knowledge, experience, and leadership in the world of music, exemplified in the name His Master's Voice. Ask your nearest His Master's Voice dealer to demonstrate this new radiogram to you. It can be yours on the payment of a small deposit
And the balance in easy weekly installments.
Remember, it's designed especially for Australian conditions and is backed by the world's most famous trademark.
His Master's Voice.
epic greats to have at your command whenever you felt inclined. Music for dancing, for entertaining your friends, or simply for pleasing yourself. In other words, the privilege and pleasure of listening to records of your favorite songs or melodies sung and played for you by world-famous artists at any time of the day or night. You can have all this now, and at a very low cost, as little as £4.19 and sixpence, the price of an His Master's Voice record player. The possession of an His Master's Voice record player will double the entertainment value of your present radio set. By simply plugging it into your radio receiver, your favorite records are reproduced with the same volume and clarity of tone that you're accustomed to when listening to broadcast programs of recorded music over the air. Remember, you can do all this for only £4.19 and sixpence. Ask your nearest radio dealer for details.
Well, there we go. Did it have the magic fifth valve, I wonder?
There we are, the end of that record.
Yeah, so £4 back in
1937 was a lot of money.
That's a hell of a lot of money. So that would have been more than a week's wage for most people.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Oh, easily. I wonder where you plug it in. They must have had...
In the light socket, didn't they, in those days?
No, it's got to be plugged into the receiver.
Yeah, I think receivers had a...
They had a plug in them, didn't
They had special facilities, so you could just sort
So
of
it was
interface
actually
your-
plugging it into the audio amplifier, was
I
it?
think so, yes.
Yeah,
I've seen radios where you could plug in a turntable.
That's where you want to plug it in, isn't
Yeah,
it?
and they had a crystal pickup with a large output or
That's
something.
Yeah,
right.
that's right. And a big heavy arm.
Yes. Well, they actually work surprisingly well.
Oh, yeah.
As
They
we've,
do.
Yeah.
Our R&D department have testified.
Yes.
You've made great use of it.
Occasionally you see the turntables with the pickup arm
Yeah.
that plug into the radio.
Yes, I have seen those. Yeah, yeah, they're
Yes.
good. So that's a... most interesting. Well, that's tremendous. I love hearing those old advertisements. They
Yes.
they
that
they
can-
say a lot about the times.
I was
don't
going to
they?
say, they put you
Yes.
right back in the era, don't
They did quite a few of those demonstration records. I have quite a few of them, but that one can stay on your shelf, Steve.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to having that.
He
as
can
a-
have multiple plays.
Yes, it'll be played regularly on our afternoon sessions.
Absolutely.
Yes, we need to have missions fodder and ad breaks.
Yes.
There's another one coming up now for
Yes.
from the 4BK 4AK Courier Mail stations.
Yes, indeed.
Little
Let's have a
1-minute drama
listen.
spots.
And it's a 33, a 1 minute.
You might,
Roast lemon green tea.
you might need to pick a different track. That one's
Yeah, I reckon that one's a bit fudgy.
What kind of tea do you use then?
That one's a bit.
Yeah, 1 minute cereals they are. Let's go. One.
Here we go. That's better.
This will be right. I think.
Henry!
Might I of Joe's necessities, I would not change for I.
Henry, must you make those noises? And anyway, the song's not true.
Why not?
Well, the Greeks climbed Olympus and found that Jove and all the rest of the immortals had flown. You can keep Jove's nectar. I'll take Rover tea, the beverage that never fails.
Always remember this, ladies. Rover is consistently good. You can rely on every packet of Rover to bring you fresh, fragrant luxury. Its deliciousness never varies. The 300 Rover free gifts are all of reliable British standard too. Remember these important points, and if you're not already drinking Rover tea, I'm sure you will from today. Change over to Rover, the purest tea the world can produce.
Well, that was a 1 minute drama.
It was for Robert T.
For Robert T. That was most excellent. Could we have another one?
Yes, play another
I
one.
wouldn't mind hearing another one. Are they lock grooves? I wonder.
Yes, they are.
They are. So I'm going to do a little bit of a dive over here.
Do a little skip over.
You'll need to fill the gap.
Yes.
So here we go.
I wonder who the performers are in this.
Yeah. Late 30s.
Yeah, probably late 30s, early 40s.
Okay. Let's have a listen to drama number 2.
Well, thank goodness for that. Oh, what a tiring journey.
Never mind. Come along, Mother, and I'll get you a nice hot cup of tea. That'll put some new life into you.
My dear boy, that's the most welcome thing I've heard this morning. I do hope that it's Rover tea.
Don't worry, it's sure to be, Mother.
If it's Rover tea, I don't care how long the rest of the journey is. For Rover tea is the finest refreshment I know.
There's nothing like a cup of Rover tea to freshen you up and brighten your outlook. Rover Tea brings you extra goodness without extra cost. Write today to the Rover Tea Company for their free gift catalogue of more than 300 beautiful Rover gifts, all of reliable British standard. Rover means better gifts and better tea. Rover, the luxury tea that goes further.
Don't you love the big gong?
Yes,
it's very
very
powerful.
official. That's Big Brother's gong. He sounds like Don Bramman, doesn't he?
He does, yes. There would be the 4BK drama department or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
What's unusual is that you don't see that often radio station labels like that, and you don't see much out of Queensland.
No, that's true. Yeah.
So 4BK is one of the few stations that you see pressings for out of Queensland. The Courier Mail stations.
It's great. So it's you don't see that many 33s from that era either.
No, so that would indicate that it's early too. The fact that it's 33 and a third, and their commercials, they probably even date from the late 30s.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Yep. Well, that's good. Here
Now,
we go.
I'm going to hand you another record.
Okay, I'll take
This
this
is
over the console into
another
my hand.
another
And what's on this
Legionnaire.
one? Oh, A Drop of the Doons, it says. Sung by Sid Hollister.
Yes.
You have to give some context to this one. This is completely unknown.
He's backed by William Flynn in the orchestra, and it's in relation to the serial Mrs. Ohms and Mrs. Entwistle,
Right.
which was a popular series on radio in the early 40s, I think 3UZ, and it was a bit similar to Mrs. Obbs, Aris and Iggs, and those sort of programs.
Yes.
And this was a song associated with that program.
Right.
Sid Hollister, of course, was a well-known performer, comedian, and made very few records. The only other record I know of is the Picking a Test Team with Jack O'Hagan.
Oh, yes. That's
with
right.
Jack O'Hagan and Sid Hollister.
Yeah.
And this would date from, again, about 1940.
Okay, fantastic. Another Legionnaire recording on vk3sl test missions.
Said Mrs. Holmes to Mrs. E, life has its compensations. Some folks says the LSD and others rich relations. But me and you, when we feels blue and things is looking queer, we've got a friend to see us through, haven't we, all dear? For when skies are cloudy and you're feeling blue, the roof is leaking, the rent's overdue. The gas man knocks at the door. The milk cow won't leave the milk anymore. The old man comes home without any pay. The wolf has moved into stay. Just a drop of the doings, and everything is okay. Of the doings will help you along when you're discouraged and things all go wrong. The doings brighten the day, and they keeps the doctor away. When the next door lets the tongue go astray, don't answer back the same way. Just have a drop of the doing, and everything is okay.
All right.
There we are.
Yay. That was good.
Drop of the Doings with Sid Hollister, William Flynn and the orchestra. And related to that very popular serial or program, Mrs. Arms and Mrs. Entwistle.
Sure. Now, William Flynn would have been quite young in 1941 or thereabouts.
Yes. Now, when was he died? In about 1980.
Mm-hmm.
And he was born in 1902 or somewhere around there.
Okay.
So, yeah. Because he was around in the 30s.
Yeah.
In the late 20s, 30s.
Sure. We played some William Flynn the other day. I picked up a William Flynn record at the op shop.
You did?
Did you?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a Spotlight.
Ragamuffin Romeo. Oh, no, the LP.
Yeah, it was the LP he made for Spotlight, and Astor re-released that.
Yes.
And, so we've been featuring a bit of Mr. Flynn.
Very good. Yes, he was involved with Spotlight. He was...
he made quite a few, I think.
He did, yes.
He sort of party discs.
He did indeed.
But look, a very fine musician. Always, that was particularly well played. We were just saying it sort of had that Glenn Miller sort of cruisiness, didn't it?
Oh, it's lovely. Yeah. No, it was,
in the background with the muted trumpets.
That's it.
It was good stuff.
No, I enjoyed that, and I enjoyed hearing Sid Hollister.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just thinking about a program, and I'd like to throw, do we have comedy or do we have like a talent show?
Oh, how about a bit of comedy?
All right.
Yeah, and while we're doing that, I'm going to go and get a bottle of champagne.
I'm going to hand you this.
Oh, yeah. We're going to celebrate. This is a very special occasion, folks. We are face-to-face missions. Real people in a real booth playing real transcription records on real vintage equipment.
We are.
This is our Christmas get-together.
It is.
I've handed Steve a transcription, and we're going to hear an episode of Fourth Form at St. Percy's.
Wow, excellent.
Okay, so what's the fourth?
Oh, yes, what? So
yes.
Now, I think, is that episode 309?
It is indeed. 309 and 310 on the other side.
310.
Okay, well, I'll just do a little bit of a
inside start.
Inside start.
We'll
just make sure that this is all happening here on the CE table. And I might just get the starters a little clean.
Have you got a special device to clean your starlight?
Just a little brush.
Yeah,
just a little brush just to get the dust off and give it a clean.
I wrecked an Autofon starters trying to overzealously clean it.
Oh, no.
Yes, it's easier to do. Just break the cantilever.
And wrecking an Autofon cartridge is
very
something
expensive.
else. That's right.
Yes. Oh, well, I did that with one of my experts recently.
Did you?
Oh, no.
Yes, something fell off the shelf and... Yeah.
Yes, I've had those done and they're way expensive.
Yeah, $300 a pop.
Yes.
Yes. Well, mine was 150 anyway.
Oh, still nasty bike.
Yeah.
Well, let's go with this. I think it's all ready to go.
Yeah.
So, yes, queuing up and Fourth Form
at St. Percy's.
St. Percy's.
Is this the same like Rick's door? And
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're in the groove.
Yes.
Extra good. Same putting in it quiet.
Oh, well, good morning, boys.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, boys. Now listen to me. I'm prepared to forget all that disgraceful behaviour at the last lesson if you boys are prepared to settle down today, give me your attention and do some work. Well, look, it doesn't matter what you think about it. If you won't do it voluntarily, I'll jolly soon make you. Last lesson was an absolute disgrace. The word work wasn't even mentioned, let alone do any.
You were late, sir.
All right, I know I was late, but even when I got here, you wouldn't give me your attention, so you can't blame me for it. Now, take out your atlases. We're going to do geography.
Geography?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's better than this, Street.
All right,
yes,
well, now, come on.
Here we are, sir. I got it, sir.
Right. Now, before you open your books, I want to see how much you know about the towns and rivers of India.
India?
Yeah.
Towns and rivers, sir.
All right, Stanford, name 3 towns in India.
Strike.
Well, come on. You should know 3 towns in India.
I know.
Well?
Gandhi.
Yes, that's one. No! Gandhi? Gandhi's not a town. Gandhi is a person.
Sure. He wears a nightshirt.
Yes, exactly. Of course. But I mean, look, I'd be much better pleased if you kept your remarks to yourself.
Well, I know about him.
Well, so you might, but I want to see if you know the towns and rivers. No, not the people who live there. Yes, Well, go on, Stanford.
Go on, sir.
Yes, give me 3 towns in India. You told us Gandhi, but that was wrong.
Now...
Well, look, give me 1 town.
One town.
Bottomley, do you know?
Oh, strike.
Well, what about chaff cutter? Calcutta?
Calcutta?
Yes, what about that?
Well, what about it?
Well, isn't that in India?
What's the map say?
Well, my map says it is.
Oh, well, that'd be right.
Would it?
Sure. Those jokers that make maps know a fair bit about geography.
What?
Well, they know more than I do anyway.
Bottomley, look, if you go on talking like that, you won't know anything. You'll just be going along to a ceremony.
Ceremony?
Yes, there'll be a lot of flowers there, but you won't be able to smell them.
What, a toad of the toad?
Yes, the cold of the day. What? No, you went to the... Serves you right, Bottomley. If you will persist in trying to be funny, you must be prepared to take the consequences.
Right.
And now keep quiet or you'll get some more. If you don't want to learn anything, there are other boys here who do.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. All right, Stanford, take no notice of him at all, and we'll just go on with our work.
Yes.
Right, now where were we? Oh, I remember. Oh, Green Bottle.
Yes, I thought you'd remember me.
Remember you? I regret to announce that I'll never forget you. Never.
Yes.
Yes, what?
Yes, good on you.
Well, if there's no need for you to be cheeky as soon as you arrive, Bottomley is already in disgrace for that sort of thing, and if you're not careful, you'll get some of the same as he got.
Yeah, see?
Bottomley, look, do you want some more?
No, sir.
All right, well, you'd better be very, very careful.
Yeah.
And now, perhaps, we can get back to this geography. And
oh, we're doing geography.
yes, and I don't want you to hinder our progress either, Green Bottle.
Hinder it?
Yes.
I never hinder anybody.
You do nothing else but hinder people.
No, I don't.
Well, look, what about when you burst in every day late? Do you think that's a help?
Yeah.
What?
No.
No. And what made you late today?
Well, I just made a mistake.
Now, listen, don't you dare tell me that you thought today was tomorrow or something. Well, I'm just warning you. I remember once before you made a mistake like that. You said that you thought today was tomorrow, and when you found out your mistake, it was really yesterday or last Thursday week or something.
No, I never.
Now, well, look, it doesn't matter about that now. What I want to know is why you were late today.
Yes, well, I made a mistake.
Yes, all right. You told us that. And if you say it again, I'll hit you with this stick, and I'll make no mistake.
Yeah,
well,
but I couldn't help it.
You couldn't help what?
I never thought he'd know.
No, of course you would. But... Green Bottle, do you think that I'm a mind reader? Would you mind very much just explaining what you're talking about?
Yes, well, it's perfectly clear to me.
Yes, well, so it might be to you, but as you've told me you haven't told me anything, it's a little difficult to understand it.
Yes.
Yes, what?
Yes, well, what's your difficulty?
Well, it's the part where you... difficulty? My greatest difficulty is to refrain from giving you a kick in the face.
Yeah,
Look, what's this about you didn't think he'd know? Who was that? Your father?
No.
Amazing.
I mean the bloke who called at the window.
At the window?
Yeah.
You mean the man who called at the door?
What door?
Well, how do I know what door? The door of your house, I suppose.
We haven't got a door. We always get in through the window.
Get in through the window?
Yes, of course we do.
What's wrong with sliding down the chimney?
Yes, well,
look.
you should have, Bottomley.
Yes, look, and you keep quiet too, Green Bottle. If you're going to start an argument, keep quiet.
I'm not arguing.
No, you're just talking like a hyena. That's all you're doing.
Yes, well, there's no need to have a door if you don't want to. We always find that the guinea pigs have got less chance of getting out if we don't have a door.
Green Bottle.
Yes?
Look, I don't mind if you talk all day, if you'll guarantee that it's not about your home. I've heard quite enough about your place, and I don't want to hear any more.
No.
No, and what's this about the man who called at the door, at the window?
Yes, well, he had a piece of blue paper for me old man.
A piece of blue paper?
Yes, and me old man saw him coming, and he told me he didn't want it.
Oh, I see.
I think his colour's black.
Yes, well, it will be in a minute. He'll be mourning for his son.
Yes, well, anyhow, this chappie came up and knocked at the window.
Oh, did he?
Yes, so I went out to see what he wanted.
Well, that was very good of you.
He said, I want to see your father. And I said, he's not home.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Oh, I see. Well,
but then the man said, well, there's his hat on the hall stand. And all I said was, yes, but he's too big to stand in the cupboard with his hat on.
Yes, of course. What?
So he came in and looked in the cupboard and gave me old man the paper.
Yes, well, if
yes,
I...
and the old man gave me hiding because I'd made a mistake.
Well, it serves you right.
Yes, and that's why I was late for school.
Was it?
Yes.
Yes, what?
Yes, what a silly thing to do, wasn't it?
Yes, but, well, all right, look, Look, now that you've told us, Greenbottle, there's no need to say any more about it.
Yeah, no.
No, you've had your say for this lesson, so now keep quiet and give somebody else a chance.
Yeah, that's what I say.
Well, don't say anything, Bottomy. I'll do the talking.
Yes.
And now, if it's not too much of a strain on the mental powers of you boys, we might return to our lessons.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, just before the maniac walked in, I asked a question, and I haven't yet had a satisfactory answer.
Question?
Yes, you should remember that.
Yes, well, I don't remember.
Look, unless you all want to be gagged, keep quiet. I want somebody to tell me 3 towns in India.
Calcutta?
Yes, all right, but I told you that one. Now I want 2 more.
Salt Lake City.
Yes, well, 1 more.
Don't tell me, don't you dare tell me.
No, wait a minute. Salt Lake City.
Yes, but I told you that one.
Oh, so you did.
Now, 1 more. Let me see.
No, let me see. I'll,
Well, come on, you ought to know 1 more.
Yes, but I,
Well, make an attempt. Try to think.
Yes, well, look, I don't know this as well as you. What? Just a minute. Look, what do you boys think you're doing? You're not supposed to be asking me. I'm asking you. I'm asking you.
Oh, well, I'll have the same again.
Well, make mine a raspberry bomb, too.
I thought you bought the last.
No, don't you remember? What? You thought Come on, bend over. There, Bottery. That's my answer to that type of behaviour. I wonder how many times I've had to correct you for that sort of thing. You just lead me along until I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yes, and you're as bad as he is.
No, I'm not.
You were the one who started it, Greenbottle. And you can consider yourself very lucky that you didn't get the stick as well.
Yeah.
And what was the name of that Indian town that you gave me?
Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City?
Yeah.
My dear lunatic pupil, it might come as a great shock to you, but Salt Lake City is in America.
Well, I know that.
What are you talking about? I asked you for an Indian town.
They have engines there.
Engines?
Yes, of course they do.
What, motor engines?
No, red engines.
Red engines?
Yes. Me smoke pipe piece. Me big chief smoke in the grass.
What?
You're plenty much big white man. Me no smoke pipe piece with you.
Me not white man, be red Indian.
What on earth do you boys think you're up to this time?
We were telling you about the red engine.
Oh, were you? Well, that's very, very good of you.
Yes, they go.
Greenbottle, look, will you stop that dreadful noise?
But that's how the Indians talk to each other.
They talk to each other?
Yes, of course they do.
Oh, do they? Well, they don't at all. I've never heard anything like it.
But you big white man, you no understand.
No, me plenty then.
Yeah, me go.
What? Oh, so you started too, have you? Listen. Now perhaps you'll keep quiet, Bottomy. Where in the name of fortune do you boys think you are? This is a classroom, not a sideshow in a circus.
Yeah, but
Well, what's the matter with you? You've got nothing to complain about. You've got nothing more than you deserve.
Yeah, but Greenbottle did that and he never got the stick.
All right, well, I know that, but just because he got away with it, it doesn't entitle you to do it.
Well, I don't reckon it's right to have a pet.
Oh, don't you?
Calm down, Bottomley. I'm not a pet.
Oh, no?
Greenbottle, look, hold your tongue. And Bottomley, you mind your own business. I can have a pet if I want to. I mean, I'm the master here, and I'll do what I like.
I've got a pet, sir.
Have you?
Yes, sir. It's a parrot.
Oh, well, Stanford, do you want me to give you the stick?
No, sir.
Well, stop introducing these irrelevant topics.
Yeah.
We don't want to hear about your pets.
No.
There's nothing of any great interest to us to learn that you've got a parrot.
No, that doesn't interest us at all.
No, of course it doesn't.
Doesn't interest me anyhow.
No, and I don't blame you, Greenbottle.
No, because I've got one of my own.
Have you?
Yes, and it
Oh,
does.
well, Greenbottle, look, stop that. Serves you right, Greenbottle. You needn't say you didn't ask for that. You almost demanded the stick.
Sure, nice work, sir, nice work. You did a great job.
Bottomley, look, I don't want any encouragement from you, thank you very much. Yes, So if you know what's good for you, you won't keep reminding me that you're here.
No, sir.
Now, look, and I've had quite enough of you for one lesson too, Greenbottle.
Yeah.
Don't you get the idea into your head that you're my pet, as Bottomley called it, because you're not.
No, sir.
No, you see? Greenbottle, so there. Listen, Stanford, No, look, and neither are you, Stanford, so don't you get any ideas either.
Strike.
Look, and don't you all think it's about time that we return to India?
Me ride on horseback. Now you go, huh?
Oh.
Big Chief, me go first. You stay.
Me think you nuts. You stay.
Look, are you boys trying to make me lose my temper?
Yes, sir.
What?
No, sir.
Well, look, you're getting dangerously close to doing it. I didn't ask everybody to start talking like Red Indians.
I didn't talk like that, sir.
No, well, all right. You wouldn't know how.
No, him plenty big deal.
Yes,
Big cheese sticking a mud, no like him at all.
Me call warriors to throw him out.
Me call mine too.
Well, look, that's the finish. If you think that I'm going to stay here and be insulted like that, you're quite wrong.
White man, he scram, huh?
Yes, well, good morning, boys.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, boys.
To hear all the bells. You don't often get all the bells these days,
right.
do you?
It's school bells.
They often get chopped.
They
or
do,
they're,
or they just get automated with sort of boring sounds. The real bell,
yes,
the real school experience.
Very nostalgic.
That's fourth form at St Percy's and produced at 5AD.
Yay.
In Adelaide in the 30s.
Yeah, that's great. There was a lot of Yes What's, isn't there? In fact, some of them were put out in CD, I remember.
Yes, and you can buy them all now through the Grace Gibson online shop.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think there was 520 episodes.
Gosh, that's a long tenure, isn't it? 520.
Yeah.
That's years.
And, a lot of the first 208 are missing.
Oh, really? Do they sometimes turn up? Is there like Doctor Who episodes that turn up?
Yeah, there's a few turned up. I've turned a few up over the years, and Bob Hawker turned up some. He's the fellow who wrote the Yes What book with.
Right.
What's the fellow's name?
Mm-hmm.
Verm Sumner, I think was the other one.
So, what was the inspiration behind it? Someone's
Well, it was the fourth form at St Michael's, basically.
Oh, okay.
It was sort of basically a play on that.
Okay.
And most of the scripts are written by Rex Dorr and also sometimes Ralph Peterson. So you had Jack Gardner as Green Bottle, Ralph Peterson as Bottomley, Jim Williams as Stanford, and Rex Dorr as the principal, were the main characters.
Well done, Jamie. That's a roll call.
I'm impressed.
It's impressive. Now, in my hand, I have a Vitatonic. Yes, we do. And this is one of these wonderful wide-range Hillendale Associated Program Service transcription records. And but what I also have in my lap in front of me is the discography of the Associated Transcription records, so we can find out who these people are, because every time I play one of these, I have no idea who's really playing. It's a guessing game because it's all pseudonyms. People change their name.
So I think you look up the number, which is 200.
Okay, so we've got one here. It's number 200A. So I'm going to flip through the book and look it up. So 200A. God, there's lots of them, isn't there? 200. You must have a large number of the collection.
I do have a...
It's 200A. Here we go. 200A is... Yes, Jimmy Dorsey's Orchestra. Now, they give you a bit of a clue because the name on the label says James Dalton.
Yes.
JD. Jimmy Dorsey. Yes, so I will have a listen to this. I've got to fire up the Buyer. The Buyer needs to be cranked up and initiated. So what do we do? I've got to remember there's a few processes here. I've got to switch the motor on. Then we put it into gear. It's like driving a car. It's like driving a tractor, actually. These machines are so agricultural. All right, now James Dalton, put that on. I've got the Hillendale stylus all set up, ready to go. So, and the other thing I've got to...
Did it have a date in that book or not?
Oh, I should have looked that up. Number 200. I've just closed the page. Be interesting to know. The date helps, and it gives it really highlights the how amazing the Western Electric system was. Here we go, 1935. So there it is.
Does it say who the vocalist is or anything?
Doesn't
like
say who the vocalist is. It says Jimmy Dorsey, I've got a feeling you're fooling and you're my lucky star. So we'll listen to the lot because I want to hear these. And the 23rd of the 9th of 1935.
Yes.
All right, so just check that we've got a bit of stylus awakeness. There we go. I can get ready, and I might give these a clean. They seem to work better if they've had a bit of a clean. So I've got my little cleaning tool here. Yes, there's a lot of theatre that goes into putting on a on a record here. It's quite a theatrical experience. We're giving it a clean now.
It's a bit like pipe smoking.
Yes, it is.
It's
Yes,
half the fun of smoking the pipe, and I
It
speak
is.
as someone who used to,
Yes.
is getting it ready and lighting it up. And
I actually used to smoke a pipe as well, Frank,
Did you, Steve?
for a
Yes.
little bit, just
Yes.
for a bit, just to
I like the smell of the pipe.
Yeah, yes. There's a certain the whole process. All right, now here we go into the groove, and let's listen to the music of Jimmy Dorsey. This is vk3sl testing.
It's time for promenading, and I'll be with you soon. All the best folks are parading on a Sunday afternoon. We'll rent a horse and carriage, and I'll be proud of you. We'll talk about a marriage on the busy avenue. And then we'll ride to the countryside. I'll burst with pride. In my Sunday gown, I'll be the talk of the town. Now you can have the twilight, and you can have the moon. Give me those happy moments on a Sunday afternoon.
The Scanners.
Okay, right, we're right to go. We've just been listening to one of these remarkable Vitaphone transcription discs, and we've been
I do like Vitaphone discs too.
Yeah, they're good as well. Yes, that's another story. But these records are just so far. It just sounds amazing in here, and you get the room ambience, and they're beautifully balanced, and it uses the very best of Western Electric's equipment at that time. So that recording was from 1935, and I am going to turn it over so we can hear the other side.
It's Jimmy Dorsey on the other side too, I think,
isn't so.
it?
Yes, it is. Indeed it is. That's right. So this side is I Wished on a Moon, and I've got a note.
Another recordings from 1935.
From 1935, and it says on the label in big words, wide range Western Electric sound system. Well, I celebrate that sound, and it just goes to show that they really had it all worked out.
Oh, yes.
Way back then.
And these were played on 3AW back in the day.
That's great. I suppose no one would have had a receiver good enough to be able to hear them.
But imagine listening to these on a valve radio in the 30s.
Yeah.
Imagine the sound.
Yes, it would have been good.
With the pickup, with the right sort of Western Electric pickup.
With as full a range speaker as you could get at that time.
That's it. Well, I think we're almost ready to go. Jimmy Dorsey and the orchestra. And I'm vk3sl. Test missions.
Something I never knew. Wished on the moon for more than I ever knew. A sweeter rose, a softer sky, and an April day that wouldn't dance away. I begged of a star to throw me a beam or two. Wished on a star and asked for a dream or two. I looked for every loveliness, and it all came true. I wished on the moon for you.
This is vk3sl, and we're testing here on 160. We have Jamie and Frank with us, and we're doing a
Delighted
face-to-face.
to be here.
Absolutely.
It's good fun. And we're playing Vitaphone transcription records at the moment, and we're back on board. Track number 2, Jimmy Dorsey and the orchestra.
His song the whole day long. I haven't got a shoe and I haven't got a song. Still I sing the whole day long. I got a note.
He's got a note. And she's got a note.
I didn't choose it.
Well, don't ever lose it while you've got that note.
I got a note.
It's still the same note.
I'm not a liar.
It's one octave higher, but still the same note. Say, look, Skeeter, they've gone on to another note. Do you like that note better than the other note?
I like this note.
He likes this note. I like that note.
I like the first one.
Well, it's the worst one.
I still like this note.
He's got a note. Man, that sure is a high note, yeah.
Is his key stuck?
Man, that sure is a pretty note. Is that his only note? I think he's off his note.
Ha ha ha!
Did you say no?
Yeah, we're just celebrating the ambience, the full scope of a wide range recording from the 1930s, 1935. That was made. So, we're sampling Vitatone discs today, or at this point.
Now, the next one, is it Emil Coleman? Is it A204 or something?
It is indeed. Now, on the label it says Edmund Clare. Now, we're just surmising, we're just speculating at least, about how they may have come up with it. I reckon someone in the office just said,
come up with...
Yeah, that's my daughter's name.
Yeah, that's it.
So, maybe... But the pseudonyms abound, and it's quite a detective story. You have to, in fact, when we're looking up the discography here, which is just such a useful resource, when we were checking it, we had to refer to a secondary list, so it's quite convoluted.
There were 2 copies of 204. There was a 204 and an A204.
That's right. So we're going to listen to 204B now. It's Edmund Clare, and we'll listen to the second track on this. It's called Strike Me Pink. It's a Brown Henderson tune, and we're enjoying music from the Associated Music Publishers, and these are particularly special because the Hillendale records made with the best equipment at the time, and they are very early examples of hi-fi.
Indeed.
They certainly are.
So, yeah, we're in the groove, I think.
Emil Coleman.
Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Coleman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lovely sound. What was that called?
yeah.
Strike Me Pink, was it?
I think so.
Strike
yeah.
Me Pink, yes.
Strike Me Pink.
If it were Bo McCackey, it'd be Strike Me Lucky.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Yes. Well, there we go. So we're sampling real records here, and these are Hillendale discs from the Associated Recording Program Service. Jamie has virtually their whole archive at his disposal.
I do have a lot, yes.
Which is a wonderful resource, and we're just savouring in these because they just sound so good.
They do.
Next one, I'm going to switch in the big speaker at the back.
208. Now, it's the Dorsey Brothers, but I don't know who the other side is.
Yeah, 208B is George Gregory. Let's look it up. 208B. I've got the anthology in front of me, 208.
No, I can't think who GG would be.
No.
Okay, here we go.
Glenn
Looking
Gray,
it up.
no.
We're getting there.
Could be Glenn Gray, could it?
Oh, it could be, indeed. 208, standby, and Charles Magnate, Tantalising and Dark Eyes. No?
Huh?
208B. That's weird.
B.
Oh.
No, 208Bs. Yeah. I reckon some of these are duplicated.
Oh.
Oh, no, you're right. It's two 208Bs.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
That's weird. Okay, so we got that one. 208A is the Dorsey Brothers. 208B is Glenn Gray.
Glenn Gray.
Yes.
Would you like to hear Glenn Gray?
I think
yes.
we should hear both sides.
Yeah.
Oh, I reckon. Yeah.
The Dorsey Brothers, they're both great orchestras.
They certainly are. And this is interesting. It actually does say Dorsey Brothers on the label here. So I reckon they must have been in between contracts with
I
other
think
labels.
so.
Sounds like it.
So they got a
wouldn't-
foot in the door.
They wouldn't put that on the label, on the cover.
That's it. So we're just doing the usual thing here, the theatrical experience of cleaning the grooves, oiling the buyer, and
very good.
And which we probably should give the stylus a clean because we have to do things in correctly
right.
here. You've got to be correct.
Part of the ritual.
There is.
They don't quite sound the same if the stylus
Oh,
isn't.
no,
If
absolutely.
they're-
Can't have dust on the needle, folks. No. So anyhow, we're advancing this now. We're about to do a lower. Whoops, no. Too close to the edge. Standing
Dorsey
on by
Brothers.
for the Dorsey Brothers Orchestra.
anyone finer in the state of Carolina? If there is and you know her, show her to me, oh Dinah. Keeps your Dixie eyes blazing, how I love to sit and gaze in to the eyes of Dinah Lee. My darling, every night, why do I shake with pride? I'm shaking 'cause dynamite change your mind about me. Dinah, if you wandered to China, I would hop an ocean liner just to be with Dinah Lee. About a gal named Dinah. I wonder if there's anyone finer down in the state of Carolina. Crazy about Dinah Lee. And if she wandered down to China, I would hop myself an ocean liner just so I could be with my sweet Dinah, to be with Dinah Lee. Every night, why do I shake with fright? I'm shaking 'cause dynamite change her mind about me. Dinah, if you wanted to China, I would hop an ocean liner just to be with Dinah Lee.
Okay, we're just standing by for the next track, and I've got the other speakers on, so we're getting a bit of feedies back, so we'll just cue it now. Okay. Whoops. Just get myself back on mic. Yeah, we're listening to classical recordings made for the Vitatone Associated Recording Transcription Recorded Services, and back in the 30s. This is they're extraordinary. They're quite a visceral experience hearing it with the bass.
Oh, you can hear the mandolin and the drums and everything.
Yeah,
it's
good.
amazing.
You can actually feel the bass.
You can, that's right. Now, we had the RCA Speaks tuned in. We're sort of wondering what the neighbours might be thinking, but it's all in the name
It's all
of
insulated.
art. Yeah, it's in the name of art.
We turn it up a little more, that they might come and tell us what they're thinking.
Well, yes, maybe they will. But there we go. Well, look, I think we'll hear the other side.
Glenn Gray and the orchestra.
It is Glenn Gray, so we'll do that. I've just got to remember to turn the amp off in between, otherwise we'll get mega feedback, which will certainly raise people's eye.
Especially if you keep your headphones on.
That's right.
Okay. They're fascinating. They're transparent, these records. You can see through them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are they red?
Yeah, they're red vinyl, and I can see my hand through the other side.
Wow.
Yeah. So George Gregory, which is Glenn Gray, we've ascertained that, and I think this is from that same period, about 1935.
Yes.
So... And the tracks here are Ball and the Jack and Linger a While. I'll give it a clean. And but these are wonderful. And these actually came from the 3AW archive.
3AW, yes.
Yeah, great. So
there were a couple of keen engineers at the day who were keen on these recordings, and they took them home.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What they could. A lot were destroyed, but they took a lot home.
Really? And that's the source of this collection.
That's right.
Fantastic. Yeah, these tracks are so striking. Whoops, I'll just have to turn these.
That is astonishing.
Yeah.
Glenn Gray.
Yeah, Glenn Gray's orchestra. What a sound. What an amazing band. Really slick and beautiful arrangements. We're just trying to work out who some of these soloists might have been. It's hard to know. I suppose one would just have to look at the commercial recordings made around this time and make an educated guess, because there's really not a lot of information.
It was lovely to hear Ball and Jack too. You don't often hear that.
Yeah, sure. Now that's a real find. That last track just sounded so real, and you get a real sense of depth because of the way the miking, and that, as Frank, you were saying, the piano being, though it was off mic, it just had that, you could place it in the texture.
Well, you got that depth, as you say. That sense of sort of where it is, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, these are transcription records made for the Associated Recorded Program Service, and we're sampling these.
We're going to move to 209.
Yeah, 209B. Now, this is Claude Harris on the label, but in reality...
Claude Hopkins, is it, or something?
That's right, Claude Hopkins, and there's another name associated with this as well. It's Fred Norman. Claude Hopkins and Fred Norman. I don't know what the...
No, I don't know.
Oh, Fred Norman's the vocalist, I think.
Right,
Yeah.
He's lucky to get a mention.
Yeah, it's right. Yeah, we were saying before that often they don't get a mention.
No, that's right.
It's unusual for vocalists in the, particularly the earlier jazz era. They weren't held in the highest esteem.
It's interesting that when they did start to get named, they're mostly women. Nearly all women.
Sure.
That's true.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, well, there's two tracks on this one. There's Lazy Bones, the Hoagie Carmichael song.
Great song.
Yeah, and Mr. Norman sings on that. And then there's the Claude Hopkins track called Sweet Horn. It says Fast Foxtrot. So we'll hold our horses for that one. And there's a long break between, so I won't need to announce in between, but you just, there's the dead air is just a part of the programmatic. So we'll just give this a clean. And yes, there's a lot of dust on these. So
yes, they probably haven't been cleaned since I played at 3AW.
Yeah, I find with the Hill and Dale discs, it does make a big difference, actually.
Yes.
Do they tend to collect, do they?
They seem to, yeah. But that's okay. We're all set, ready to go. And let's have another listen to an authentic fighter tone pressing from the 1930s. 1935, I think. This is VK3sl. Testing on 160 and 2 metres.
Sleeping in the sun, boy. How you expect to get your day's work done, huh? Never get your day's work done. Sleeping in the evening sun. Just look at it now. Lazy bone. Sleeping in the hay. How you ever expect to make a dime that way, huh? Never make a dime that way, brother. Snoozing in the noonday hay. Boy, when taters needs brain, I bet you keep praying that the bug will just drop off the vine. And when you go fishing, I bet you keep wishing that the fish don't grab at your line. Just look at you now. Lazy bone, sleeping in the shade. Boy, how's you gonna ever expect to get your cornmeal made, huh? You ain't gonna never get your cornmeal made. There, sleeping in the evening shade. Boy, lazy bone, snoozing in your bed. If I didn't hear you snoring, boy, I swear you was dead. Sleeping so doggone sound. Why, brother, you don't even know what's going on around. No, sir. Lazy bone. But boy, you got it bad. All the time pounding your ear on that confounded pad. got your kneecaps all worn away from crawling in the hay 6 and 7 times a day. When everybody's working, you laying around and shaking. Boy, you was born tired. That's a fact. But if this NRA gets the showers, it's going to cut down on them sleeping hours and snatch that mattress right square open your bag. You wait to see. Lazy bone. Sleeping just like a log. Boy, you ain't gonna never amount to nothing that way, you lazy dog. Sleeping in the sun all day. Boy, you living, but your body is done passed away. Yowza.
Chasing my blues away. It's a mellow horn, kinda smooth horn. I hear your sweet tunes all day. Soft lights and cocktails for me. When you hear that horn, you sure agree it's a sweet horn. It's a mellow horn, chasing my blues away. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Chasing my blues away. Hear your sweet tunes all day. Soft lights and cocktails for me. When you hear that horn, you'll sure agree it's a sweet horn. Soft horn, chasing my blues away.
right.
Well, we are still shell-shocked.
Yeah, waxing lyrical. It's we've been turning the volume up a little bit too loud for a mid-suburbia.
Yeah.
Yes, no word from the neighbours yet, but
no, not yet.
We're listening.
It's on the cards. Look, that's incredible, really. When you hear the maracas, all the
those transients are incredible, aren't they?
Yeah.
The percussion, it's just full of life. Beautifully balanced recordings made in the 30s, and that's the thing. I mean, really, even back then, they had it all worked out.
They did, yes.
And so I think
we're going to hear one more.
Yeah.
Another Glenn Gray. I think this is 210. Is that right?
Yes, indeed it is. 210. George Gregory, it says.
George Gregory.
Which is we've now ascertained as Glenn Gray. 2 tracks. Dixieland Band, which is a foxtrot with vocal refrain. Don't know who that is. And the other one is The Man I Love, which is from Struck Up the Band.
Yeah,
good Gershwin tune. So, yeah, again, same year. I think these are all from that period, this 200 series.
Yep.
And it's quite an experience hearing these in their true full glory. Yeah, I think we're right to go. Hill and Dale Heaven.
You bet.
Did you ever hear the story of the Dixieland Band? Let me tell you, brother, that the music was grand. They had piano and a clarinet. Only thing they needed was a second cornet. And that's what led to the ruin of the Dixieland Band. When the folks would holler for the maple leaf rag, they would get the swinging, but the trumpet would drag. They had to keep him cause he played so sweet, but they needed someone who could give them the beat. Someone who swung with the rhythm of the Dixieland Band. He'd play so sweetly instead of playing. He'd play so sweetly, and they'd be saying, sure enough, he got him so they couldn't play right. Finally, he fixed him on a Saturday night. He hit a figure that was off the chord. Apoplexy got him, and they went to the Lord. And that's the pitiful story of the Dixieland Band. Now they're up in heaven and they're happy at last, cause they found a trumpet man that really can blast. The way he swings them is an awful shame. He can really do it, Gabriel is his name. And now folks, here is a sample. Listen to the Dixieland Band. Oh, oh, oh. And if you hear a trumpet start to play, don't you get a fit that it's a judgment day. Just Mr. Gabriel sounding his A. And the Dixieland Band is fixing to play.
what a great note to end the session on Vitatone recordings for tonight's missions. Unusual not to hear a vocal in that.
Interesting. But amazing arrangements, fantastic orchestras and bands, and all under pseudonym, of course. And a fascinating resource because it just shows what they could do.
Just sensational, and hopefully we'll get to come and play a lot more.
Yeah,
definitely.
Well,
Not that he's fishing for an invitation.
I think we'll definitely pursue this line. There's no doubt about that.
We'll have a regular a segment of Vitatonies.
Yeah, definitely. Vitatonics. Yay. Well, thanks for that, Jamie. That was a real treat. It was great to hear that. And I'd forgotten how great Glenn Gray's orchestra was.
He's marvellous.
So had I.
Just a tremendous ensemble. So I'll be looking them up. I'll be, yes, lots of points of departure.
Yes.
Yay. Well, let's see. We've got another transcription record of a different kind.
Yes, this is an experimental 33 1/3 Victor program transcription service. In 1932, they put out a series of these. Some recordings were dubs of 78s, and others were only recorded for that particular, for the Victor program service.
Sure.
So I've always been fond of them, and I've bought them up over the years whenever I've been able to find them.
Yeah, they're very, very rare. I've never seen them sort of in the field.
They don't turn up here. No, bought them. I've always bought them overseas.
Sure. Okay.
So and they had some great recordings on them. As this one.
Yeah, for sure. This one is Hot Char and Face the Music. It's the music of Irving Berlin. And we hear Paul Whiteman and the orchestra. So, yeah, let's have a listen.
Have we got an approximate date for that?
1932.
32, right.
Yeah. So these are transcription records. They're 33, and as Jamie said, it's an experimental service.
33, yeah.
At that time, you don't see many 78s, coarse groove.
No.
It's with 33.
That's right.
Okay, I think.
And it's got the spider web backing on it, I think. Is that right?
Yes, it does. Yeah. Okay, let's have a listen.
bound to be okay. Oh, if you say you're willing, I'll see you through, or it will sound so coming from the old rise. Often tell a lot of lies, and I can't believe inside. Don't you wanna compromise? Cuddle up right to me any time of the day and say what I wanna hear you say. Another cup of coffee, let's have another piece of pie. You know trouble, just a bubble, and the clouds will soon roll by. So let's have another cup of coffee, let's have another piece of pie, and let a smile be your umbrella, or it's just an April shower. Even old John D. Rockefeller is looking for the silver lining. Mr. Herbert Hoover says that now is the time to buy. Let's have another cup of coffee. Let's have another piece of pie.
Lovely sounds of Paul Whiteman and the orchestra.
Yes.
and Let's Face the Music. And who did you say it was? Red McKenzie?
I think Red McKenzie.
Red McKenzie.
And if people want to have a look online, there's a very interesting sort of assessment of this very record we're listening to now. A couple of collectors have collaborated with what was seemingly the same record, but in fact two different matrices from the same session, and it happens to be an accidental stereo record.
Wow.
So that's been reassembled, and it's quite an experience. So have a look up online, look up Hot Char under Paul Whiteman, and that's the very disc we've just heard. But how about that? That's an extraordinary rarity. There's not many copies of that around.
Mildred Bailey, the vocalist on the first track.
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful.
Yeah, lovely recording.
Yeah, indeed. Well,
now for some OTR.
Sure.
And this one's more OTR. This is a 3KZ transcription. And we're going to hear part 1 of Teenage Talent. I think it's episode 15. These were recorded after the Kiora Sports Parade, usually. So they had the same audience. I think it was a Monday night or something like that.
Yeah.
And they used to go around to all the different town halls. Anyway, so this Teenage Talent, it was a sort of talent show, and everybody who was anyone under 21 more or less was in this show. And you'll hear John Ford doing the ads for Kiora.
Yeah.
Kiora Teenage Talent.
So they sponsored this as well.
Yes, yeah.
I remember the sports parade.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's some great talent in this, and some very well-known people that became very well-known later on.
Very good. Okay, well, let's see how we go with the inside fast start. All right.
Tom Davidson's the orchestra too.
Teenage Talent.
Uncle Doug Elliott.
Here's our show with laughter and with singing. Off we go to set the rafters ringing. We will drive your cares away, and we'll brighten up the dullest day. Oh, we're young in years. Please don't let that dismay you, for we'll surely make the grade. Here's an illustration, Kiora's presentation of the Teenage Talent on Parade.
Kiora, manufacturers of quality food products and fruit juices, bring you again Teenage Talent. Half an hour with some of this country's most brilliant young artists. This week you'll hear Greg Dempsey, Beryl Wright, Josie King, Ron Joe, Les Parr, David Rogers, Lyle Hughes, Pam Kennard, the youth choir, Kiora's own singing group, plus the music of Tom Davidson and his orchestra. We open Kiora Teenage Talent with a song about a mountain all covered with snow. Yes, it's the current hit favorite on top of Old Smoky, featured for us by Greg Dempsey and the singing group.
On top of Old Smoky,
all covered with snow,
all covered with snow,
I lost my true lover.
I lost my true love
By courting so slow,
by courting so slow.
now courting's a pleasure,
Now courting's a
and parting is grief,
and parting
and a
is
false-hearted lover
and a false-hearted
is worse than a thief.
is worse than a thief.
A thief will just rob you
A thief will just rob
and take all you have,
and take all you have.
but a false-hearted lover
But a false-hearted love
will send you to the grave,
will send you to the grave,
and the grave will decay you
and the grave will decay
and take all you can.
and turn you to dust.
Not one boy in 100
Not one boy in a
a
heart
poor girl can trust.
a poor girl can trust.
They'll hug you and kiss you
They'll hug you and kiss you
and tell you more lies
and tell you more lies
than cross ties on a railroad
cross ties on a rail
or stars in the sky.
or stars in the sky.
On top of Old Smoky,
On top of Old
all
Smoky,
covered with snow,
all covered with snow.
I lost my true lover
I lost my true love
by courting so slow.
by courting so slow.
call favourite standards, such songs as Tea for Two, Blue Skies, Night and Day, and After You've Gone. These are the melodies that are popping up every now and again and will continue to do so for many years to come. Right now, in Kia Ora Teenage Talent, 18 years old saxophonist Beryl Wright is going to play the last named of those 4 songs, After You've Gone. Thank you, Beryl.
Soon we shall forget those cold, wintry days and nights and bask in the glorious sunshine. I prefer the summer for one particular reason. How I do enjoy my cool, refreshing glass of Kia Ora 50/50. In fact, I like all Kia Ora fruit juices. There's such a variety. First, I have 50/50. Next time, Kia Ora Orange Cup. Oh, how I like that. And what could be nicer on a hot day or evening than a glass of Kia Ora Lemon? Whichever you prefer, each one is certain to quench that summer thirst. Kia Ora fruit juices are so delightfully different in taste appeal, so refreshing and invigorating. Make certain to solve your summer cool drink problem by ordering your Orange Cup, Lemon, or 50/50 now. But be sure your fruit juice is a Kia Ora product.
Always right up to the minute with our music and Kia Ora Teenage Talent. We have for you a song which is enjoying a new lease of life because it's the theme number and the title of a big new Hollywood musical. It's the Pagan Love Song, and it's sung in Teenage Talent by charming pop singer Josie King.
Each other
The Kyoto Teenage Talent introduces now a young man who's always anxious to strum out a melody or two for us with his banjo mandolin. A welcome for 16 years old smiling Ron Job, who's going to play a bracket of two numbers. The ferry boat in and the red we want. Well, it's the red we've got. Thank you, Ron Job. Teenager Les Parr sings for us now a new song which has plenty of appeal. It's called My Destiny, and in this number, Les is backed by Kyoto's singing group.
With you makes no difference what you say or do. I must stay in love with you. That's my destiny. It's a thing you can't control. I belong to you both heart and soul. With a love beyond control. They say nothing is sure, even the sea runs dry. They're wrong, one thing is sure, love like this can never die. That's how it is, and that's how it has to be. You are everything in life to me. You are my destiny.
Perfect for meals any day in the year. Quick to serve and good for you, too. Of course, I mean Kyoto baked beans and Kyoto spaghetti. Ideal for any meal, Kyoto baked beans are golden brown and really delicious. They add zest to any meal, and incidentally, in these days of high prices, provide an economical, nourishing, and novel vegetable for any meat dish. Enjoy the long, tasty, tempting strands of golden spaghetti. There's no other spaghetti quite so good as Kyoto. It's the housewife's first favorite. Kyoto baked beans and Kyoto spaghetti. Tried, tested, and trusted. Always make sure it's a Kyoto product.
Young 17-years-old trumpeter David Rogers plays for us now. Composition by George Gershwin, Love Walked In.
And sudden finish there.
Teenage Talent and part 1 of that episode.
Yeah.
With Uncle Doug. And some great talent there. Les Powell and Greg Dempsey and Tom Davidson's orchestra. And,
okay, that was Tom Davidson, was it?
I didn't know that.
And well, we might hear part 2 next time.
I think so, definitely. Yeah,
Put it on the list.
Teenage Talent on 3XY. Yeah, we're sort of having a confetti of acetate just a minute ago.
We were, unfortunately.
Yes, we
sadly.
Brought down some records from the top of the shelf, and sadly they're delaminating.
Yes, sadly. That's what happens with acetates.
It's a rather permanent condition.
I hope that was, something a little bit enjoyable.
It was.
Yeah, it was good.
I'm sure the listeners would have enjoyed that.
I thought we would stay in the Australian theme.
Oh.
And I'm handing a 78 over to...
Okay, we're doing an exchange here. I'm handing a transcription back, and here we go.
Now, I'm assuming that's 15 part 1 up to me.
Yeah, I better check. We
just
have
to make sure.
Yes, we do this correctly, and we'll see 15 part... yes, 15A.
Yeah.
Very good.
So this is an ABC disc Australian compositions. And
it is too.
Now, who is it, Steve?
It says, composed by Dr. Robert Daly Scarlett, words by R.L. Stevenson, Brisbane Handel Society, conducted by the composer. Recorded in Brisbane in 1956.
So I thought we would have a few Australian compositions.
How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Elegy. Now, okay. Dr. Robert Daly Scarlett, his Elegy. Well, this is quite a fascinating rarity. So it's 78, isn't it?
78, yes.
Okay, right, onto the platter. And in the groove. vk3sl test.
That was the Brisbane Handel Society.
Yes, it was. And a unique Australian composition.
Yes.
Beautifully performed.
Was.
Yeah, and a work called Elegy. Well, an elegy, of course, is a song of sort of melancholy reflection, really.
Indeed.
Yeah.
If you want to hand me that back,
yes,
I'll hand
I will.
you another one.
So Dr. Dally Scarlett is the composer of
Right.
that. And so interesting to...
the ABC had a big library of these. They they were very good like that. They put together all these different series. And now here's another one.
Supporting local musicians. Yeah, it's good.
I think this one's Clement Q. Williams. Have a look at that one.
Okay, sure. Got the right side up. Yeah, 5 Australian lyrics. The Wanderer, Clement Q. Williams, baritone, accompanied by Enid Conley. Another ABC disc. Wow, these are great.
So let's have a listen to
These
this.
are the ABC discs that didn't go into landfill.
That's right.
Gosh, okay.
Thank goodness.
And it's got a date. The date is May 1953. So let's have a listen. Okay, this has got quite a warp in it, but it's...
What a shame.
Might try to put something
trees to the sacred Buddha ground. Heavy my heart and lonely, gone is the peace I found. Speak for me, great Father Spirit, tell me the path I must take. Point to the great wrong, my Father. Show me the great mistake. Why did the darkness fall on my heart? Fall on my heart. Why must myself and happiness part? I wander through the small trees to the sacred Buddha ground.
Yeah, that's
Is that
quite...
the end?
Yeah, it
Yes.
is. That's great.
That caught me unawares. I didn't have my headphones on.
No, that's all fine.
If you hand me that one back,
Yeah, I'm just going to just check in with this again. So 5 Australian lyrics. That was The Wanderer. Clement Q. Williams is the baritone. Beautifully sung. He's got a lovely voice.
Yes.
And Enid Conley is the accompanist. Wow. Oh, it's John Antill.
Oh, there you are. Oh,
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, you
yeah.
see his music quite a lot. He's a well-known Australian
yes.
composer. So
yeah.
interesting artifact. That's remarkable. Great. Thanks for that, Jamie. I'd love to hear that.
That's all right. We'll hand you another one. Sorry, this is a bit
And
slow.
what's next in the grab
next?
bag, in
Here
the
we go.
lucky dip?
Here we go. Harold Williams.
All right.
Oh,
let's
Harold
see.
Williams,
Okay.
yes.
Well, John Bax is the name. Harold Williams is the baritone. Maynard Wilkinson's accompanying. Maynard Wilkinson. Don't know her. And this is the music of Jack Villaume and words by Charles Sauter. Australian compositions recorded in Sydney in March 1955.
Well, there you go.
Final 78.
When old John Bax drove the mail to Coonabarra Bran, his reins were made of rawhide, his lash of kangaroo. He'd 4 grey whalers in his old brown shanty-dan, and we all set our watches when the coach horn blew. 10 ta-ra, boys, here comes the mail, rolling down the cleared line, sun, rain or hail, rocking up the main street as hard as she can go, when old John Bax drove the coach for Cobb and Co. When old John Bax brought his horses to a standstill, chucked the ribbons over and the whip along the roof. His team was all a lathery, but fit and well and grand still, with ne'er a goal or whip mark and ne'er a tender hoof. Ten, ta-ra, boys, here comes the mail, rolling down the cleared line, sun, rain or hail, rocking up the main street as hard as she can go, when old John Bax drove the coach for Cobb and Co. It's long, long years now since Johnny Bax was driving, long years ago, before most of you were born. But them were the days it was good to be alive in, when the sun kept time to the sound of Johnny's horn. Ten, ta-ra, boys, here comes the mail, rolling down the cleared line, all full sail, rocking up the main street with letters from below, when old John Bax drove the coach, when old John Bax drove the coach, when old John Bax drove the coach for Cobb and Co.
Bravo.
Isn't that very Australian?
Bravo. Absolutely Australian, this. And Harold Williams is great. What a voice.
There's an ABC produced album out long ago. I think I don't know whether you can still get it. And it's got the singing with Malcolm McKechnie, singing the Old Gendarme, and other songs like Izzy and Ozzy, Izzy Lizzy.
Oh,
yes, that's right. Yes, that's it.
BC Liam and...
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's not Harold Williams, is it?
No.
No. Who is that?
Malcolm McKechnie and BC Helium.
BC Helium. Well done. Sorry. Yes. I'm on the
Very
wrong.
fine. I love their recordings.
So do I.
Flotsam and Jetsam.
So do I. Yeah.
But Harold Williams is always... I've always liked his voice, like Peter Dawson.
It's a strong voice, isn't it?
It is, and it's got it's got great character
Yes.
in his voice. And the other side of this is Priscilla, and this is the music of Fred White, and words by Lilla McKay. And yeah, we'll hear Harold Williams again with Maynard Wilkinson on the piano, and again recorded in 1955.
Right.
And
Priscilla's in the garden. To me it always seems the garden wears a finer air and knows itself more sweet and fair. When by the hedge of rosemary Priscilla in a reverie walks with her gentle dreams. Priscilla's in the garden, that I can surely tell, because the sudden song the thrush has called from out the lilac bush, that he has seen her cheeks aglow beside the hollyhocks to roll and pipes to wish her well. Priscilla's in the garden, she wears an angel air, as if her thoughts were set above the things that lesser mortals love. But I am not deceived, not I, because I saw young John go by, lightfoot, to meet her there.
Okay, so there we go. Another Harold Williams track. And I'd be keen to hear more of those, Jamie. They're really quite an interesting dimension to this, because I had no idea about these recordings.
Well, there was a huge series of them, and which side's that? Is that the...
Oh, yes, let me get this handed over to you with the correct side.
Is that the Priscilla side? Sorry.
I'll do this
people
correctly.
on the air, it's just...
No, it's all good. So, yeah, this is the John Bax facing up. Yeah, there we go.
Right.
Yes,
there we
I
are.
understand the sorting is very important.
When things go back on the shelf, they have to go back the way they came off.
Yeah.
Certainly do.
Otherwise, I don't know what's what.
Yeah, that's all fine.
I'm amazed that you keep such order, Jamie.
Well, you need to have systems.
Yes,
and,
that's right. It's all about systems. Yes, well, there's plenty more of those, and because they did an extensive library of compositions, thankfully.
Okay.
Now, hang on, if I've blocked myself off.
There you go.
Here's the next record.
Right.
This is a...
an acetate.
No, it's a vinyl shellac pressing.
Oh, okay. Oh, gosh, yes. It's quite heavy.
33 1/3.
Yeah.
And it's critical moments. It's a little 5-minute drama spot.
Oh, how about that? That sounds great. It says that it's recorded and processed by Sound Recording Studios in Castlereagh Street in Sydney. Wow.
Does it say when?
No, but it would be the 30s.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got that sort of 30s look of it.
Yes.
Okay, well, we'll switch over to 33 1/3.
33 1/3.
And we'll get this in the groove. I might give it a clean first, Jamie.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's just it's got a small hole.
Oh no, why didn't it go on?
Oh, it's okay. I've just put it on. It's a bit suspended.
Oh, well,
It's
that's
perched
all right.
on top.
It might wobble.
It might wobble.
I've got it fairly squared up.
That's okay.
If I push it down, I will never get it on.
Yeah, it might break.
As long as you don't put too much weight on it.
It might snap the poor thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Because they're very fragile.
Are they? Even though they're heavy.
Yeah. Yep. Let's have a listen. vk3sl testing. Is it an inside start or an outside
I thought
start?
it was an inside start.
That's why we're not getting a result.
Oh.
Okay, we lift the starter, so we bring it to the middle. There we go. Is that it?
No, keep going. Here we are.
Critical moment. Critical moments. Those moments which pop up during the lifetime of every one of us, when disaster is averted by the merest chance, and the line between life and death only a hairbreadth. Come with us tonight to a little mining town. The manager of the mine, Dick Hargraves, is having the evening meal with his wife, Sarah.
Well, Dick, I suppose you weren't sorry to see the night shift down below and get over for a bite of tea.
That I wasn't. And I've had a tiring day, too, and a worrying one.
Oh?
I've not said anything, but I don't like the smell of the mine today.
Dick, gas?
Couldn't swear to it, mind you.
Anyhow, all the men have safety lamps.
Precious lot of good they are if there's an explosion. No peace for a man. Yes? What? For the love of... Right. Yes, I'll be right over. Sarah, my coat. There's been an explosion on the 600-foot level. 2 men trapped and water getting in. Thanks. Expect me when you see me.
2 men trapped in the 600 foot. May heaven give them courage. They'll need it.
Harold, where are you?
Over here near the skips. Keep your head, Bill.
Yeah, I'll be all right. Harold, can you hear that?
Yes, I can hear it.
Water. We're trapped. We're drowned.
Shut up. Pull yourself together, man. If we let ourselves go, we're done for.
so dark. Oh, if only we had some light. Some light! Some light!
Steady.
What are we going to do? Harold, we haven't got a chance. 600 feet below the ground. Trapped. And water getting in. Listen, it's louder!
Hang on to me and mind your step. That explosion may have blown a hole in the roof of the next level.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. Harold, listen. Can you hear anything?
Yeah, they're digging into us. Keep your chin up, pal. We'll make out.
If the water doesn't get us first.
Stick to it, old fella. And watch your step.
Hold me! Hold me! I'm slipping! Hold me!
I've got you. Steady, man. Steady. Take it steady. You're all right.
Yeah. But we can't go on. We can't go on. The floor's gone. And we can't see.
We've got to go on. If we stop here, we'll drown.
And if we go on, we fall and break our necks. Harold! Harold! Where are you? Where have you gone to?
I'm just looking for something. It should have been near them skips.
What?
This.
A torch. Light. Light! Come on! We'll make it! We can see! We're saved!
Yeah. And look what we just missed. A 50-foot drop. Believe me, Bill, without this torch, we'd both have been dead men now.
A good, reliable electric torch is indispensable to the camper, motorist, hiker, fisherman, gardener, and outdoor man. Even round the house it takes up little or no room, and yet is always ready for those emergencies that seem to wait for the dim, dark hours before they develop. At such times, the dependable, brilliant beam of an ever-ready electric torch, powered with ever-ready batteries, may mean all the difference between life and death. And if you live in the country and rely upon batteries to provide power for your radio, remember that the same skillful manufacturer that makes ever-ready torch refills the best and most reliable batteries you can buy goes into every ever-ready radio battery. You can rely upon them always for a smoother flow of power and a longer period of useful life. Listen in again at this time next week for a further exciting true life adventure brought to you by courtesy of the Ever Ready Company Australia Proprietary Limited, Rosebery, New South Wales, the home of Ever Ready torches and torch refills, radio batteries and Ever Ready air cells.
So what are air cells?
I don't.
Goodness knows.
How do you like that? Ever-ready batteries, a program for ever-ready.
How about that?
Yeah.
And
Critical moments.
Yay, that was good. So was that a big series? Were they?
I don't know. I've only got a couple of discs from that
It looks
series.
like quite an obscurity, to be honest.
I think it is an obscurity. Probably dates from 1935.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to have to wrestle this off the table gently. So
Yes.
Yeah.
It played well, considering that it was just sitting on there.
Just perched there like
perched there.
ready,
There was-
it's a suspended record. I'm being
Yes.
very careful here.
Here we are.
I managed to wrestle it off.
Well done, Steve.
Made by the Sound Recording Studios in Sydney.
Yeah.
There we go.
A bit like those other things that John plays at his OTRs, the 5-minute drama.
Vignettes of Life.
Vignettes of Life, thank you, yes.
Yeah.
They were good.
Well, they're later, which is true. They're, late 50s or something.
Sure, they're very
vignettes.
good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I've got something from my very modest collection here.
Yes, I'm very keen to hear this.
Yeah, well, we're sifting through a pile of transcriptions up on top of one of the speakers here, and we found some episodes of a program called Nightmare.
I'm so keen to hear it.
Yes, you've got us intrigued with Nightmare.
Yeah, but I can tell you, I have listened to this when I was young, and it's pretty. This is if you're listening in your semi-slumber.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say, we're giving you a disrupted night's sleep.
This is your equivalent
Well,
of my Shadow with the Brain episode.
It's not a program that I have in my collection, which I'm which is
when you consider how extensive your collection is, this is
it's a real rarity.
Okay, well, we'll sample this. You might recognise the voice. It's a story, and it's a short
self-contained story. Yeah.
Right.
And I'm just giving you a bit of a clean-o-matic.
Terrify us.
Well, yes, okay. Into the groove. Stand on. Oh, wait a minute. Stand on by. I think it's an outside start.
Oh.
vk3sl testing.
I am that agonized sense of horror, of helplessness you dread. I come to you in dreams when the moon is dark. I come to you even in the broad light of day. You have all met me. My name, Nightmare. Poison. There are two kinds of poison. One that destroys the physical body, the other, the mind. Both mean death. You have met Mrs. Marcia Crane. She is a woman who knows the living and the sleeping nightmare. It happens after her husband John buys a house on the coast. It's a low, rambling stone building overlooking a small rocky bay into which the sea lumbers sullenly. It can be reached only by a disused road that wanders to its ivy-strangled walls from the nearest village 3 miles away. The view from every one of the home's mullioned windows emphasizes the utter loneliness. Making and keeping the place livable is beyond the strength of Marcia Crane. But suddenly, out of nowhere, a woman calls and introduces herself as Mrs. Ransom. 50s, grey hair, comfortably plump. She says she has heard in the village that Mrs. Crane wants a housekeeper. She asks for the job. Marcia is pleased to accept her, but puzzled. No one in the village knows she is in need of help. Mrs. Ransom immediately proves she's a good, quick, clean worker, so Marcia forgets any questions as to Mrs. Ransom's past. Mrs. Ransom does not volunteer any information either. Working hard, it is all the two women can do to stop the somber, brooding house from slipping back into dank decay. Mrs. Ransom is in a place some 6 or 7 months when Marcia's husband, John, unexpectedly announces a change in his routine of going to work to the city every morning and returning at night. Marcia is surprised to hear him say that he will have to work late 2 or 3 nights a week, and to save the long journey home, he will sleep in a city. She accepts his explanation without complaint, for she thinks the relationship between her and her husband remains the same. Tranquil, she calls it. Deadly monotonous is the version of an outsider. Soon, John begins staying away a week at a time. Then Marcia has her first attack. After supper, she feels a constriction of her throat, a burning pain in her abdomen. Twice she is sick. Mrs. Ransom fusses around with cold compressors and a strangely shaped green bottle of old-fashioned smelling salts. Comes the next morning. Apart from a headache and incessant thirst, Marcia Crane feels more or less normal. When John comes home, she forgets to mention it. A week passes. She has another attack. The third comes a month later. It is more severe. It lasts for several days. She thinks it is something she has eaten, for she distinctly remembers the food having a faint, bitter taste. She tells John. He laughs. Mrs. Ransom is upset, regarding it as a slur on her cooking, in which she takes inordinate pride. The days pass, and Marcia picks up a newspaper. The headlines are black and heavy. Bodies of 2 elderly men exhumed. Arsenic found in remains. Murder suspected. Marcia shudders and puts the paper down. Within 2 days, she reads that a further body has been dug from its grave. Post-mortem results are the same. Arsenic. The 3 men had been bachelors. Each died a year later than the other. All employed a housekeeper for a year before the poison claimed its victims. The newspaper says the homicide squad is anxious to interview the housekeeper, for it is established that the same woman looked after the men till their deaths. No motive for the alleged murders can be given. There is no money involved, no frustrated passion or jealousy. They are plain cases of killing to glut a sadistic bloodlust. The housekeeper is described as 50-ish, gray hair, plump, a good worker, and never without a strangely shaped green bottle of old-fashioned smelling salts. Marcia Crane comes face to face with fear. She thinks back. The woman calling herself Mrs. Ransom arrived from nowhere a week after the third man's death. Is she the missing woman? Does her kindly face mask that of a sadist? And Marcia remembers her illness. Food tasting bitter, constriction of the throat, burning pains. Symptoms of arsenic poisoning. Marcia Crane almost faints with the shock and horror. She's alone in an isolated, shadow-filled house with a poisoner. A doubt steeps timidly into her shuddering mind. She clutches at it desperately. Mrs. Ransom looks normal, acts normally. So does the poisoner, the paper says. Then John comes home. Marcia tells him of her fears. At first he laughs, then she persists. Then he calls her a fool. He ate the same food. He complained of no illness. It's all conjecture of her part, he says. Her imagination, never stable, is running away. That, he says, is the first sign of insanity. The next day, he returns to the city. Marcia begins watching Mrs. Ransom, notes how she allows no one in the kitchen with her when preparing food. The housekeeper's every commonplace move suddenly attains sinister proportions in Marcia's fear-dilated eyes. Is she right, or is John? Is insanity slowly eating into her mind like a cancerous growth, destroying it? No, the police are looking all over the country for the woman. She's here. The food did taste bitter, or did it? Pretending she isn't hungry, Marcia eats nothing that day. Long after Mrs. Ransom retires for the night, Marcia Crane creeps noiselessly into the kitchen. She makes herself a cup of hot milk and a chocolate by melting a slab she found in her bedroom. She swallows the first mouthful. It tastes bitter. In a haze of terror and dictated by her subconscious, Marcia allows the liquid to cool, and then carefully pours it into a clean bottle. Next morning, she walks the 3 lonely miles to the village. She stops at the chemist shop. Yes, enough to kill a person twice over. Where did she get it? Marcia passes off the question by asking him to write down his analysis. It is nearly 4 o'clock when Marcia Crane returns. Her senses still reeling under the weight of her terrifying discovery. She goes straight to her room. She's trembling. Her hands shake. The sweat of her fear beads her forehead. Her nerves lacerate as though with a lash. She prays silently that John will return. She will not lose her head, make a scene. Instead, she will quietly tell him of her knowledge. He will drive to the village on some pretext or other and return with the police. But John does not come home. She dare not telephone, for Mrs. Ransom will hear every word. Even if she rings the police, she will not live to see their arrival. 1 day, 2, 3 days pass. Marcia Crane knows a living nightmare. Her nerves jump at every noise, every shadow. She refuses all food, plays at the ghastly pretense of not feeling well. Mrs. Ransom looks at her curiously. Marcia fights to appear otherwise normal. She is convinced that if Mrs. Ransom has the slightest suspicion of what she knows, the housekeeper will reveal her diseased mind and kill by physical means. Comes the 4th night of her ordeal. She thinks another day will find her insane, screaming her knowledge. It is then she hears the most welcome sound in her life. The sound of John Crane's car arriving, the slam of the door, his footsteps into the house, and his voice. Where's Mrs. Crane? His footsteps at the door. Quietly now, she tells herself. Act normally. Mrs. Ransom may hear. Quickly, Marcia Crane gets the bottle of chocolate from the hiding place. She puts it on a dressing table. Next to it, neatly folded, now lies the paper bearing the chemist's analysis. Arsenic, body-twisting convulsions, burning pain, frenzied breathing, till death finally comes in hideous distortions. John enters. He kisses his wife. He hands her the evening paper. Nothing much in it, he says, except that the police have found and arrested that housekeeper wanted for the poisoning. Photos on the front page. Looks a nice old soul. He idly goes over to the dressing table. He picks up the chemist's report, unfolds it. John Crane turns and faces his wife. She sees his expression. She puts out her hands to stop his approach. It is then she starts to scream. I come to you in dreams when the moon is dark. I come to you even in a broad light of day. You have all met me. Marcia Crane met me. I am Nightmare.
Well, that is fabulous. That is real Valentine Dial
yes.
stuff, isn't it?
It's
real nightmare material.
It is.
Just as well I've got something here that's taking my mind off.
Indeed. Yeah, well...
Glass here in my right hand.
Yes, that's right. You've got a glass of champagne. That's a great anaesthetiser,
Am I
isn't
allowed
it?
to say
We're being indulged superbly
well,
by
that's
our
right.
host.
Well, yeah,
dear.
that's an interesting one. We don't know who it is.
No, I know the voice, but a very interesting production, and
You think it might be even a test press in?
it could be a audition
Audition material.
Yeah, it could be. I don't. It's just I've never heard of it.
It doesn't have any continuity.
No.
It just says episode 1 and episode 2 on the label.
Yeah, yeah.
But
fabulous.
Yeah, it is interesting, and the other side is even more terrifying. It's the one where they're lost in the fog forever.
Great mind-bending stuff.
It is mind-bending. It is
well,
quite.
That's my treat for the week. Really, to hear that.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
that's right.
To hear. That's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
something I hadn't heard before.
Handball that one on.
Now, something to change the mode slightly.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Well, I thought we could sort of end the program on a nice note with a bit of comedy.
Oh, good. Excellent. I think this is good. There's a great sort of theatre, so passing the records over the console.
I love it.
Oh, George Wallace show.
George Wallace show. This is a Macquarie.
Yay.
And I really like George Wallace.
Yeah, George Wallace was a card, wasn't he?
Oh, it's wonderful. And he had George Foster and very. I'm just trying to think. I think the Guardsmen are they in this anyway. Dates from the late 40s.
Yep.
And it's a half-hour show, but we'll probably only have time for part 1 today.
Yeah, sure. Well, we'll sample this.
Episode
and,
34.
Definitely. Well, what era?
About 1948.
Okay.
Inside Start Macquarie. I think it's
so
Inside
I always think of George Wallace and those FT
those
shorts.
movies, yeah.
Yeah, he did. He was a young man then, but he was galumping around on the stage.
Yeah, no, I love.
But he was a great vaudevillian, wasn't he?
I remember for years and years and years, I always, as a collector, I always wanted to find some transcriptions of the George Wallace show.
Oh, okay.
It took me years and years, but I
took you a
finally
long time?
found some.
Oh,
Yeah.
good for you.
Yeah.
Well, this is a product of that
Yes,
that
indeed.
search. All right, we'll pop it on the table. It's an
Inside Start.
Yes,
Yep.
I've got to be wary of these things.
That's right.
And I've got to find the centre hole. Finding the hole is harder after 3 glasses of champagne.
It tends to be a bit that way.
At least it's not an acetate with the 3 holes around the outside of
That's true.
Is that? Do they really?
Yes, they had replacement holes.
I think we're in the zone, folks. So let's
Okay.
proceed. VK3SL.
Come along to the tent, 'cause it's party was meant when the travelling show's in town. When we do our dramas, the people are thrilled. That is the reason the big number's filled. And they all start to laugh when the hero is killed. When the Wallace show's in town.
Hello there, curtain up time on the George Wallace Show. And here we are tonight in the pleasant little township of Swampy Creek. And to say howdy on behalf of the company come the 4 Guardsmen.
I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts, and there they are standing in a row. Big one, small one, some as big as your head. Give 'em a twist, a flick of your wrist, that's what the showman said. I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. Every ball you throw will make me rich. And there stands me wife, the idol of me life. Sing and roll a bowl, a penny a pig. Sing and roll a bowl, a penny a pig. Sing and roll a bowl, a penny a pig. Roll a bowl, roll a bowl. Sing and roll a bowl, a penny a pig.
Down at an English fair.
Yes.
One evening I was there. When I heard a showman shouting underneath the flare.
Whoa! I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts, and there they are standing in a row. Big one, small one, some as big as your head. Give 'em a twist, a flick of the wrist, that's what the showman said. I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. Every ball you throw will make me rich. And there stands me wife, the idol of me life. Sing and roll a bowl, a penny a pig. Sing and roll a bowl, a penny a pig. Sing and roll a bowl, a penny a pig. Roll a bowl, roll a bowl. Sing and roll a bowl, a penny a pig. Sing and roll a bowl, a penny a pig.
Hey, Mr. Foster, have you heard the news?
What's that, Peggy?
George Wallace has resigned from the show. He refuses to appear tonight.
Oh, but that is impossible.
No, it's not. He's sitting in the audience and he reckons he's going to get his own back on everyone in the company tonight.
Well, where is he sitting?
Well, that's him in the front row occupying 2 seats.
Well, that's not bad for him, only taking up 2 seats.
Yeah, but the 2 seats are on each side of the aisle. All right. There he is, our boy from the bush, George Wallace!
Come up there from the audience, will you?
Not on your life. I've had all you jokers. I'm going to have a bit of my own back tonight. I'm going to give you jokers the feathered applause.
Feathered applause?
Yes, the bird. Carry on, idiot.
Yes, well, any more from you, George, and I'll get the usherette to take you out.
You what?
I'll get the usherette to take you out.
That'll do me. Make it Fairy Bower next Sunday.
Oh. Listen, George, why are you sitting in the audience tonight? What's biting you?
Please.
Well, stop scratching yourself, will you?
Why should I? By heavens, I'm the only one who knows where I'm itchy, don't I?
Ladies and gentlemen, I shall just ignore this peasant. Tonight I am going to recite for you a poem entitled The Commercial Traveller's Farewell.
Whose farewell?
The Commercial Travellers. You know what a commercial traveller's farewell is, don't you?
Yeah, it's the same as the soldiers. Only it carries 10% commission.
Oh, what do you I'll just ignore you. Luke Empire, give me a little monologue music, please, on the piano. Thank you. Ah, lovely.
Beautiful.
Shut up, will you?
Yeah, I wasn't talking.
Oh, well, keep quiet.
Well, I just happened to say...
Well, sit down there in the front row and shut up. That's amazing.
Dirty moods again.
Quiet. That break again, if you don't mind, Lou, on the piano. Thank you. Oh, it doesn't matter. That's all right.
You just put the piano away in the
Okay, I don't want to talk about you. It's just been painted. We've got to keep off that piano. Now, I might say, ladies and gentlemen, however, I'm very pleased to have a fine musician like Lou Campara behind me.
I'll say it's wonderful to have a musician like him behind you.
That's right. I'll give in to you there.
I'll give in to you too. Now, if you're going to give in to me, I'll give in to you.
Look, I'm sorry, I mentioned it.
Not often I give in to anyone.
I'm very pleased to have Lou Campara behind me, that's all.
Yes, and it's much better than having him in front of you. Look, cop the shape of his skull. Get on it, look.
What's wrong with his head?
He looks like a lonely wallaby or an aggravated cockatoo. Look
Oh, don't be so insulting, George. Lou just happens to be wearing the new style haircut, that's all. Cornell Wild.
Yeah, Cornell Wild Man of Borneo. Look at him. A mad horse.
Oh, keep quiet, will you? I'm trying to do something here on stage. I don't like you slinging off Lou Campara. He's a concert pianist. You should have seen him at the Town Hall concert last Monday.
I saw him.
Yes, well, he looked very distinguished in his top hat, white tie, and tails.
Yes, and he'd have looked even better with his pants on.
I'll jump on you down there in the audience, and I'll deal with you in a moment, honestly, George. You must have worried your parents to death. Didn't your mother fear that one morning she'd wake up and find herself an old woman?
Yes, and while she was looking, I asked her to find me a young one. I don't know, I'm just a natural there, that's the trouble. Bah! Aye?
The Commercial Traveller's Farewell.
Hey, what did you say before you said the Commercial Traveller's Farewell?
Bah!
What?
Bah, 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 bah!
Oh, I get it. 4 bars introduction. Well, get on with the song.
It's not a song.
If you practice my soldier favorite.
It's a recitation, and it's entitled The Commercial Traveller's Farewell.
Well, let him get going. Is his car broken out?
No, it hasn't.
Well, if he sticks around much longer, he'll owe another week's board. Get on with it.
Oh, button your lip, will you, please?
Who do you think I am, Charles Boyer?
Charles Boyer.
I think I'll grow a mouth.
Oh, cut it out.
I look like a Bulgarian deserter with a mouth.
The Commercial Traveller's Farewell. He was only a traveling salesman, but his spirits would never lag. Wherever you saw that salesman, you would always see his bag.
Oh, you should take his wife with him.
Yeah, no!
You said he had his wife.
Oh, keep quiet.
Filthy temper.
He traveled... He traveled... I'll keep quiet, McKay, in the back there.
You know what McKay's laughing at? The first gag we pulled. He just...
I know. Will you let me get on with the Commercial Traveller's Farewell?
Yes.
Yes. He traveled for ladies' lingerie. His trademark was the zip sign. It had a new look around the... It had a new look around the hemline.
And a no look round the hip line.
I'll slaughter you, Wallace. I will raise.
Who pushed Eric Bush off the bus?
Okay, quiet. He was a popular salesman with his boss. His jokes were a perfect rendition. His boss would shriek with laughter.
And nearly split his commission.
I refuse to continue.
Don't be so sensitive.
I'm not sensitive. It's you interrupting. It's impossible. How can I make this show a success?
Leave it.
Oh. But he gambled. He gambled away his money.
Yes.
And even his sample bag, he'd hock it. And he'd get money to put chips on the table.
But he'd keep the fish in his pocket.
This is the end. This is the end. I had 3 verses to go, too.
Well, how can it be the end? Go on, don't be a spoil sport. Do it.
Finish it. All right, I'll finish it, but keep quiet, will you?
Heavens, you're in a terrible mood.
To be a musician was his ambition. Music filled his every thought. He'd have liked to have been a flautist.
But he couldn't play the flute.
I'll ignore you.
He thought he could, but he couldn't play the flute.
Okay. And that night in the hotel bar, on his guitar the salesman did plunk. When suddenly he faltered and he fell to the floor and he lay there dead.
Dead drunk.
He wasn't! He was dead.
Well, he picked up a bait.
I didn't. He was dead, do you understand? The man was dead. Dead. Dead he was. I said he was dead.
Well, what do you want me to do?
What?
Chuck him a wreath?
Oh, listen.
I've never met the joker, and if he likes to die in the pub, it's got nothing to do with me. It's a matter of invitation to me what he does.
All right. Well, keep quiet. I'll finish this if it kills me.
Dress material to me, what
They found a note. They found a note upon the floor. Near where the body fell, it was addressed to his darling son and called a salesman's farewell.
Yes.
Don't ever be a gambler, boy. Don't take an unheeded chance. Hang on to your money. Hang on to your shirt.
And my heavens, hang on to your pants.
Cremate me with my sample case. Put my ashes in the pot and send them
to the income tax people and tell them they've copped the lot.
We ain't got a barrel of money, maybe we're ragged and funny, but we'll travel along, singing a song, side by side.
Don't know what's coming tomorrow, maybe it's trouble and sorrow,
but we'll travel along, sharing our load, side by side. Through all kinds of weather,
what if skies should fall?
just as long as we're together, it doesn't matter at all. When they've all had their quarrels and parted,
We'll be the same as we started,
just traveling along, singing a song, side by side.
through all kinds of weather.
What if the sky should fall? Just as long as we're together, it doesn't matter at all.
When they've all had their quarrels and parted,
We'll be just the same as we started, just traveling along, singing a song, side by side.
And there were our two jaybirds, June Hamilton and Joe Barnes, singing a chorus or two of Side by Side.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to once again introduce another sterling production by the Bullamakanka Dramatic Players.
Tonight we are going to present that immortal classic, Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Hi, Mr. Foster.
Yes, Alfie, what is it?
George says he won't be in the play tonight.
Oh, is that so?
Yes, that's so.
Yes, well, what's the trouble with you?
Well, you see, it's a slight matter of remuneration.
Oh?
I'd like some wages once so often, every now and then.
Well, look, don't you realize you're being ridiculous discussing wages?
Why am I ridiculous if I'm asking for the money?
Well, don't you realize, my boy, that by acting in these plays you get paid with invaluable experience?
Look, I'll give in to you there. It's not often I give in to you, but I'll give in to you
All
there.
right, all right.
Yes, you get experience. I'll admit that.
All right. Well, what is your experience that you've been paid taught you?
That it's better to get paid in money. I'd like a few quid on the counter, if you don't mind. A few quid on the counter.
Oh, yes, on account of what?
On account of I'm broke. I'm motherless. Go on. Hit your kick.
What?
Bash yourself in the bin. Cough up. Go on.
This is no time, George, to discuss money matters.
Yes, I agree. My brother, he went delirious worrying about money.
Huh?
Yes, he started to imagine he was a cheese omelette.
A cheese omelette?
Yeah, he used to walk around with a yellow waistcoat and a packet of cheese stuffed up his shirt.
What, did you send him to the doctor?
Yeah, the doctor got him to remove the cheese.
Oh, well, so now he doesn't think it's a cheese omelette any longer, eh?
No, he's just a plain omelette now.
Oh, Alfie, go on, hide yourself somewhere, will you? Hide your silly face. Where are the rest of the players?
Here I am, Mr. Foster.
Oh, good, it's Magnolia Twist. Now, Miss Twist, we are doing Uncle Tom's Cabin tonight.
Oh, I love the classics.
Do you?
Every night you'll see me reading.
Yeah.
A book in one hand and a glass of hot milk in the other, cuddled up on the lounge.
I've invented a special red-coloured paint for people that are too lazy to read books.
Is that
It's,
so?
It's a wonderful paint. You just paint the book all over and when you finish.
And when you finish, yes,
Yeah.
what happens?
The book is red. My heavens, I'm in a light vein tonight.
You're in a light vein. I'll have your jugular vein in a minute, I'm telling you. Now, where's Ding Donovan? Where
Here I am, Mr. Foster, heaven's gift to women. Oh, yes, I'm disappointed. I went to the hospital last night to see a little nurse, and now I'll never be able to get into the army if they call me up.
What are you raving about?
Well, you see, I met this lovely little nurse and took her for a stroll in the hospital garden.
Well, what happened?
I asked her for a kiss, and she refused.
Well, how's that going to keep you out of the army?
Well, you see, I've been turned down on medical grounds. I'm really sparkling tonight. I've just had a bottle of champagne. Oh, I'm sparkling tonight.
No, you're not sparkling. That's just gas.
Now, if you don't mind, I'll allot the parts to the play. Now, Alfie, you play the leading role tonight, Uncle Tom, the old Negro.
Oh, good. I'll go and black up my face. Yeah, that's a wonderful idea. It'll match your neck.
Oh, John.
Well, there we go. That was a sudden finish there.
That's right. That's what they used to do. Cut in the middle, and then you had to. I feel sorry for the turntable operator that had to cue that up.
Yeah.
Joining part A and part B.
I imagine it would have been a very precise job, and everyone would have been. Any complaints would have been to the turntable operator and how they.
Yes, I wonder if you'd listened to it, whether you would have picked the join.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you wouldn't want to be asleep at the job.
No, you wouldn't, would you?
Yeah, dead air.
I think what they used to have to do is write down the cue points.
Right.
And they'd have to sit there and listen for that cue point.
Yes, yes.
Have their hand on the other turntable, and off they go.
Yes.
There's a wonderful picture of the 3DB studio with the three big buyer turntables, and you can just see the sort of operational dynamic and how they would have all had to have hands in two different places and just quickly cut to the chase.
Yep.
But anyhow, folks, I think we'll wind at this point. It's getting late.
I hope you enjoyed the George Wallace road show.
Yeah, that was good. That was great.
That was part one with George Foster and Ding Dong. Great cast. And I don't know, there was always a bit of a thing, do you like Mo or George Wallace? I liked them both for different reasons.
Why not?
I think they both were great in their own right.
That's great.
Very talented.
It's wonderful to hear. Well, I think at this point we will wind up because it's getting late. It's getting.
I suppose it is.
It's after.
It's after
witching
After
hour.
3. Oh,
Yes.
dear.
Oh, we've had a long session.
We have.
And
But delightful.
But we have to finish with a Vitatonic because that's an enduring
another Glenn
subject.
Gray.
Yeah, that's right. Another
211.
Oh, well done.
And in signing, thank you to Steve.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you to Jamie for the material. And we hope that the listeners have totally enjoyed this as much as,
It's
even
been a
half
won-
as much as we have.
Oh, absolutely.
It's been a wonderful
No,
night.
we've had fun. It's been really good. It's a lovely sort of Christmas,
Absolutely.
catch up, and we'll definitely
Been my dream.
do this
I've been
again.
saying for a long time I'd love to do this face to face. It's
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
It has an extra dimension, doesn't it?
It certainly
really?
does. That's absolutely the case. So thank you, folks, for listening in, and we'll say cheers for now.
Good night, everybody.
And
Good night.
we'll,
Good night.
we'll
Good
cue
night
this
and
one
good
up.
luck.
Yes.
Good night, Dave. Good night, Wayne. Good night, listeners.
Mr. Fleming.
Mr. Fleming.
Is out there in listener land.
Yes.
And we'll just cue this up and say our Cheerios, and until next time.
And if your mother's listening, good night.
Yes, that's right. This is vk3sl test missions on 160 and 2 metres.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.